Alright, in this video I am talking about the 11 life path as well as people born on the 2nd, the 11th, the 20th, and the 29th. Now, those are different things, your expression number, your birth number, your life path, but either way, the 2 and the 11, 20, 29 carry the master energy number of the 11 life path being a master number. If you're unfamiliar with numerology, it goes from 1 to 9, and then there's three master numbers 11, 22, and 33. Now, the 11 is a very important one because it is the foundation of all the other master numbers. The 22 and the 33 are either just two 11s or three 11s, giving them that extra boost, that extra influence of the 11, but it's still the 11. Now, I'm going to mention some famous, influential people who are 11 life paths, and then overall just give a description of what the personality is like, some things they need to avoid, how to embrace their power, how to really be in tune with that high master number vibration. So, check. We have Antonio Vivaldi, we have Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, we have Leo Tolstoy, we have Barack Obama. If you know Barack Obama, he is known to be a very charismatic speaker, the theme of charisma being something which the 11 carries. We have Bill Clinton, we have Michael Jordan, Ronald Reagan, Nelson Mandela, Anthony Hopkins. By the way, I so love Anthony Hopkins. Like, his movies are amazing. He's probably one of my favorite actors ever. We have Kanye West, Kobe Bryant, and Madonna. So, yeah, the the birth numbers are a bit different when it comes to the 2, the 20, the 11, the 29. All I'm gonna explain very soon. But what I'm trying to explain is that they all tie to the master number of 11. They all carry that energy. So, what I'm about to say for the first half of the video, where I talk about the 11 life paths specifically, this is also tied to the numbers I just mentioned because they are working with the same or very similar energy. Now, the master number energy allows them to manifest quicker than the numbers 1 through 9, which means that they must be extra careful about what it is that they truly desire to manifest because it might just happen. They have the potential to receive wealth and fame, but they use it not for their personal desires, such as money or, doing it for their ego, kind of for their status, but rather so that they can have influence, inspiration, and be able to educate the masses through the attained fame, status, and high position which they have come in contact with. So that charisma they're working with, that emotional energy they're working with, gives them the potential to achieve great heights when it comes to any sort of structure, when it comes to their career, when it comes to their relationships, when it comes to their business. They are overall very likely to attract attention, and that is something they can use to better humanity, which is why they're here. Let's talk about it. So, they are very influential and charismatic because it is believed that they are working with the master number energy. And they must use their influence and charisma to improve the world and visualize solutions for a better future. Now, they are master visualizers because the 11 is a very psychic number. It is the bridge between the material and the spiritual world, giving them that sort of closer contact to the spiritual plane, allowing them to take their knowledge from the spiritual plane and bring it onto the physical plane, onto the material world, and use that to help the world and influence people for the better, visualize for a better future, visualize solutions for the future. So they are very intuitive and should trust their intuition rather than their rational mind, as they're going to see success because the 11s and other master numbers can be considered the old souls of the numerology, besides maybe the nine life path. But that means that they may carry subconscious knowledge from previous lifetimes, giving them that intuitive edge, giving them that intuitive knowledge. So I've met some 11s, and I discussed exactly that with them, that like they should use their intuition, that they probably have a very powerful intuition. They may have visions in their dreams, they may have like prophetic dreams where they really like see messages, see the outcome of certain scenarios. That's something I've discussed with a couple of 11s, and some of them were able to confirm it and confirm the fact that when they use their intuition, when they use their subconscious mind and kind of allow it to rule their rational intellectual mind, they see much greater results because they are the old souls. They know things from previous reincarnations. Even if their rational mind, their human intellect, isn't able to understand something, they can tap into that energy on the spiritual, intuitive level, making them very powerful because they can sense like any situation, any person, any circumstance. They just have that heightened sixth sense, that spider sense, you see. Right, so they're visionaries for the future. They can see things from a higher perspective and can be of great service to humanity. Now, because they have that grand vision for the future, they have this grand vision of how the world should be, how the world must operate, how people should operate. They can really use that to lift others up, to be of inspiration, and really lift the world up. Now, having that master number energy, it would be irrational for them to develop a high ego. And honestly, they may even deserve or be able to justify their ego because of their gifts, their talents, their high position in society, their achievements, all of that. Now, I've talked about ego on this channel a couple times, and it's something which I'm interested in because I have a different opinion of that subject compared to other people. And I believe that if you truly can justify your ego, you can find a valid reason for you having a specific ego, you're allowed to have it. If you can justify your ego, I don't see a problem with a person having a high ego. I see ego as an instrument which can be used for achievement, for, getting closer to your desires. It can be very destructive, it can be very constructive. It is only a question of how you are able to use it. But the 11s and master numbers overall can have a very high ego because they are more gifted. They may be much smarter. They may just be more talented, richer, more influential than the average person. Most likely they even are. Most likely they can completely show it to you and justify it, and the results are there. But having a high ego, despite it being justifiable, despite them deserving that high ego and that high estimation of themselves, it is only a hindrance for them because their mission is beyond themselves. Their mission is for the humanity as a whole, right? While other numbers, especially like the 1 through 9, are here to really learn personal lessons, to really, work on their own soul mission, on their own soul contract, their own kind of qualities which they're developing. The master numbers are already masters of this existence. They have learned all the lessons, and now they are just coming back to Earth to reincarnate because they see the Earth lacking something. They see themselves being able to provide a unique opinion or be of a certain influence towards fellow humankind. They are here not just for themselves anymore. They're here to serve humanity. And if that is your position, an ego, a very high ego and estimation of self, just doesn't fit into that, even if it's justifiable, because you're not here for yourself anymore. You're here for the world. And an ego may hold you back and may actually cause delays in your mission because you might just focus on yourself and use your charisma, use your gifts and talent for greedy, egotistical reasons instead of lifting up the world and other people. So, let's see. Yeah, so they really need to be of service, inspiration, and healing of this planet. They make great healers because they can intuitively tap in to other people. So it's a very powerful energy which not everybody can handle. When you're creating your soul contract, you're aware of the potential challenges which you must face as a master number, but the heightened vibration may not be manageable by young 11 life paths, and they may suppress that energy through drugs, drinking, or other vices as such. Now, once you kind of have that spiritual breakthrough, your spiritual growth or whatever, and you are really able to implement certain practices to start operating at a higher vibration, start raising the frequency at which you operate, it is not a pretty thing to encounter at first. It sounds a lot more like sunshine and butterflies than it actually is. It is a very painful process at first. And that process is not always easily manageable. It's not, if that's something you've never dealt with before, if you've never operated at a very high vibration and now you have access to it, it is not an easy thing to handle. And you may desire to suppress it, to suppress that power through drugs, vices, etc. But eventually, that does not work for the life path because people with that energy, they're here for a purpose outside themselves. So if they try to fall into that victim mindset where, oh, it's all about me, look how difficult it is for me, that's something they're gonna come out of relatively quickly because that's just so not aligned with their mission. They're not here for themselves anymore. They're here to be of service. So that means that 11 life paths may struggle early on in their life, but the universe, it will eventually lift them up and align them to their true mission, to their true passion and purpose, because that allows them to live out those positive qualities later on in their life. Now serving humanity, now being of influence and educating and uplifting others. So, yeah, spiritual messengers, highly evolved souls here to teach, inspire, and lift other numbers up. So, let's look at the birth numbers now. We have the 2, right? So, people born on the 2nd or the 20th have very similar energy. The 20 just has a 0, which amplifies all the energy it encounters, making it just a more intense 2. But numerologists believe that the 20 is a hidden 11 because if you use the 9 and you add the 9 to any number, it subtracts back to that number. And if you add the 9 to an 11, it becomes a 20. So making the 20 a hidden 11, you see? Now, people born on the 2nd and the 20th especially are going to be more diplomatic. They're going to be cooperative and have a strong connection to the moon, which allows them to manifest and use their intuition. Now, people with that 2 energy can either be very, very evil or very good. Put it that way. There was this famous German guy, like an angry German guy with a mustache. He's born on the 20th of April, and what he has created is the negative manifestation of the 2 energy. It is a very powerful energy. So, because the 2 has a connection to the moon is tied to the nurturing mother archetype and also to the element of water, which rules the I feel. This means that people with 2 energy have high emotional intelligence, but also carry within themselves lots of emotional energy. If you know astrology, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and they're very emotionally unstable because the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. Now, if the people with 2 or 20 energy are able to control their emotions instead of having their emotions control them, they are going to do much better, right? The feminine energy of the two can make them very passive and unable to stand up for themselves, which means that people may try to bring you down or abuse that power over people born on the 2nd or the 20th. Because they're working with so much feminine energy, they may not have that masculine, assertive, dominating energy to stand up for themselves and to protect themselves. So that can put them in a position where they let people walk all over them, they allow people to not respect them, to bully them, and that's something that they need to learn, is to fight back, to be able to stand up for themselves and, yeah, protect themselves. Now, they are also very diplomatic, like the goat of the Chinese zodiac or the Libra of the Western zodiac, um, who value harmony and diplomacy. Now, a challenge which comes with that diplomacy and valuing harmony over everything else, is that you may neglect the truth. You may neglect the interest of some people for the greater good of the whole group, right? Because Libras and the goat and twos, they don't want to confront conflict. They don't want to create conflict, which means that they don't want anyone to be involved with that. They want to be there for everyone. They want everyone to be happy. But what's important to know is that not everyone can always be happy, especially in the pursuit of a deeper truth, right? Somebody is right, somebody may be wrong. And that's something they need to learn how to confront and actually assert themselves over the situation and over other people. Now, what else do we have? They're the cooperators. They're a great person to be in a relationship with because they value their other half. And they just understand how a relationship is supposed to operate. Makes them also good business partners. Now, let's talk about the people born on the 11th or the 29th, 2 and 9 adding to the 11. They can be considered the most charismatic, which is seen through Joe Rogan, who is the #1 podcaster in the world, who was born on the 11th, or Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays a lot of very kind of powerful roles which deal with a lot of emotional energy. Why Leonardo DiCaprio is so popular? He's born on the 11th, which gives him that charisma, that emotional intelligence. And that's why when he plays those roles of the characters he plays, he's able to add that charisma and that emotional attachment to it, kind of bringing more life into each individual which he plays, you see? So they kind of boost up the energy. They're like an overcharge of their surroundings. You know how the 9 adapts to other numbers? The 11 is also very extreme. So it's gonna be affected by what it becomes or by what it tries to adapt to, you see? Right. Now, something interesting, which is, yeah, I mean, it's believed that hair stores emotional energy. So if you want to let go of some emotions, you can get a haircut on a 11-day in numerology, when the total date adds up to an 11, which would make it a 11 master number day. Similarly, if you're an 11 life path or born on the 2nd, 11th, 20th, 29th, and you struggle with your emotions because you have more emotional energy flowing through you than all other numbers, Long hair may not serve you, and that is because you may be holding on to extra emotional energy. So if you're an 11 life path or born on these dates and you want to kind of feel more light, you don't want to be held down by your emotions, a long haircut may not serve you because in occult knowledge, it is believed that hair stores a certain emotional energy with it. That can be um, why Rastafarians never cut their hair. Certain cultures, religions, they don't cut their hair because it's like an antenna for your, it's like an extension of your central nervous system. You see, that allows you to be more in touch with your location, like where you're at, who's around you. You can just be more sensitive towards energy. But if you're already an 11 and you're already hypersensitive towards energy, that may be something that just overstimulates you and kind of weighs you down. So yeah, get a haircut on an 11 day if that's something you need. Okay, now something else that's interesting is that if you're born on any of these dates or are an 11 life path, it's very important for you to actually pursue your purpose and your true passion, because if you are able to connect your emotional intelligence and your emotional energy towards that passion, it's going to create a very powerful effect and it's going to allow you to manifest more of that project, and you're going to be able to manifest more enthusiastically when it comes to that project because you feel like you're working for a higher mission, you're working for a higher purpose, something beyond yourself, something, yeah, which is beyond your personal needs. And connecting your vision, your visualizations, your affirmations, your emotional energy with a specific project will allow you to manifest that master number energy into whatever it is that you are pursuing. So be very careful with that, use it cautiously, but just know that it is a very powerful instrument which you are dealt with. So, what's interesting about the 29 specifically is that the 2 and the 9 are enemy numbers because the 9 is Mars. It is Ares, the god of war and destruction, while the moon is that feminine mother archetype energy. These people are the most easily influenced by others. So you need to be careful who you surround yourself with. Just like the 9 who adapts to their circumstance, to the people around them, and therefore may develop a lot of bad habits, the 29 has the same quality. So they need to be careful how they allow others or the world to influence them. 9 is the most adaptive number, and that is something they're dealing with as well. But these people have the highest potential out of all the 11s of attracting wealth and fame at a very early age. It's just something very likely to happen for them. They're also going to carry that charisma, emotional intelligence, all of that. Now, to finish that video off, I just want to say, like, a little piece of advice, kind of, is that if you are dealing with that master number 11 energy, you cannot be too rigid. Don't be too rigid on your viewpoints of the world because you have those high ideals, you have a high belief system of how things should be, how the world should be, how people should be. And that can really make you upset when the world does not match your standards, when the world does not live up to your desires, live up to what you yourself may be able to live up to. You see? So don't be too rigid in your views. Just because you believe that this should be that and that way does not mean that the entire world must now conform and adapt to your viewpoint. So if you want to prevent getting hurt and kind of hurting yourself, try working on acceptance and accepting the world for how it is and accepting people for how they are and not trying to put your imprint into everyone and everything, despite having the power to do so. Um, the two is one and two. They're stable, right? Like the Libra. So they should not be unstable. They need to keep harmony and balance in their life with their habits, with their relationships, their business. Try not to indulge too much in any vices. Try to stay stable, remain sober because you already have that strong connection to the cosmos. So yeah, you don't need anything outside yourself, really. You are a powerhouse of energy. And the most important last point, which I'll talk about, is that you need to trust your intuition. Your rational mind, your human, logical mind, is not as powerful as the immeasurable experience and wisdom which you carry from past reincarnations, from your past lifetimes. Trust your intuition. You are able to tune into your intuition very easily, more than any other number, possibly. So learn how to trust your intuition, work with your intuition. Don't make it your enemy. Learn how to use it as constructively as possible, and it is going to serve you so greatly. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Trust your intuition, it is most likely there to lead you towards your true mission, which is uplifting the world, educating others, being of inspiration of others, and having a great plan for the world. Thank you for watching this video. If you are born on any of these days, or if you're an 11 life path, make sure to let me know if I missed anything or if you could relate with some of the stuff you said, if you found it useful. If you're any other number and you're just watching this video, I hope you could learn something. I hope that was beneficial for you. So yeah, thank you for being here and see ya.